and welcome back to my channel. So I finally have found the time to do this. Today I'm going to review the Foundation Trilogy by Isaac Asimov. So this book has taken me so much time to finish. I had such a problem going through with this. I DNF'd it 2 times and I'm proud of myself for finishing it because it was one of my goals for 2020. First of all, why did I want to read this? This is a collection of 3 books and it is considered a classic in the sci-fi genre. And I just wanted to read it, and on a whim, during some holiday season, I wished for this complete edition for Christmas, and I got it. This has been in my closet for 5 years before I've read it. So I'm bad. However, I am glad I read it because I completely see why this is a classic and why it has this legendary status. However, I had some issues with this book. Overall, I gave this 3.75 stars out of 5, and partially it is because of the cult status. And today I want to explain why this was a hard rating to do, and my problems with the book, and why it's still worth reading, maybe? Let's just start what this book or 3 books is about. The story starts at the center of a galactic empire, and this empire is about to implode. A scientist called Henry Selden actually found out that this is going to collapse, and he started to project the future and found out that if this collapses without any regulation, the galactic empire is going to take 10,000 years to recover. So he comes up with a plan how to shorten this period to a mere, I think, 2,000 years or something. He is a psychohistorian. He analyzes societies on a planetary level, their behavior, and how this affects the overall development of the galaxy. And he suggests that the Foundation is founded. This is a scientific community at one end of the galaxy and at the second end of the galaxy, and they will gather all the knowledge of the galactic empire and shorten this period of time. This is the first book. So this first book is following one Foundation on Terminus, and this spans across 100 or more years. And it has huge time jumps between chapters, and you are not following one character longer than 2 chapters, which is for me a problem. I feel like this is very scattered, and you just have to love the overall story and stick through it, because no character is going to pull you through. You cannot fall in love with any character beside maybe Selden, because he comes up through the story. It's like reading short stories, and overall it makes up a whole thing. That was actually how it was written first. It was written for a magazine and collected into a big book. So the second book is following the Foundation after this plan gets evolved, and the galactic empire is breaking apart. The planets are starting to be more medieval and develop down, and the Foundation is the only society that still has nuclear power and it still has this scientific development going on. And then it turns out that the Empire is not that. And then a powerful mutant appears called the Mule. And this is from the second and the third book. The Mule is an individual, and overall psychic history is based on planetary level societies making decisions and not individuals. So you're screwed, my youths. That's about it. And the third book is kind of a resolution of this, bringing in the second Foundation on the other side of the galaxy, and how this whole plan worked or didn't work and whatever. So this was the no spoiler section. If you read the synopsis of these books, you know it. This was the plot. Overall, this book has these character issues I've already talked about. It has big pacing issues. This is making time jumps. It is completely different in paces between stories. You don't know what's coming next. It's kind of fun, but kind of confusing because you don't know if the next chapter is 100 years later. You feel sometimes like you are reading a history book. Like in the same way you feel it's too dry, like Silmarillion by Tolkien. I would compare those two, while I think the Foundation Trilogy still has more dialogue than Silmarillion does. But if you had struggles with the Silmarillion, don't read the Foundation Trilogy. This book has some great plot twists. Like really great. I couldn't call it until the last book. I think the cleverness of the story is amazing. Isaac Asimov has created a story that is like an odyssey. It's full of twists, it's full of ideas about societies and how individuals can still change the course of history and they still matter even though you have a planetary sized decision tree. I have some problems with this book, and this is in general, it's not a spoiler, I just have to tell you this. I am a woman, and I'm reading classical sci-fi, and I'm aware this is an old story, but the underrepresentation of female characters is terrifying. There are so few female characters in this, and the ones that are there are horrible. They are treated like sexual objects, they are treated like wives, and they are treated like something to trade for, and you just feel disgusted. Isaac, what did you do? What? I know, it wasn't the time to write big female protagonists, but maybe try? Just, if you care about female representation in fiction, this is going to hurt your soul, because it did mine. But I still think it's worth it, because the plot is so great overall. Okay, let's get to the spoiler section and giving you more context. Spoilers! Okay, the first book is really great. I thought this is so clever because it starts with people going to Terminus founding the first Foundation, and they are working on an Encyclopedia Galactica, and this is supposed to collect all the knowledge in one big encyclopedia. And they are working with that, they're happy about it, and after 50 years there's a hologram of Selden popping up in the world and telling them, I just screwed with you, it doesn't matter you do that, I just wanted to distract you. I laughed so hard. Your work doesn't matter, now do this. Turns out that they shouldn't do the encyclopedia, they should establish a new rule of the galaxies from the Foundation. So they are starting to do that because they are the only ones still having nuclear power. The planet around them turn into medieval hoarding. They try to attack the Foundation and they find out they still have nuclear power, and then they are afraid and run away, and the Foundation starts a nuclear power religion. They start to go to these planets, show them the nuclear gadgets they have. The people are starting to worship them because for them it's magic. And this is so cool. Like analyzing societies and using science as a religion. Chef's kiss, love it. And then the people are thinking, oh, the Foundation doesn't have so much power, so they're trying to rebel, and some very egomaniac dudes are trying to attack the Foundation with some ships. And it turns out they thought of that. And the moment you get it, that they have predicted it, that they have a solution for it, and that the threat is already taken care of, and you are like, oh my god, thank you. This is so satisfying to read. And Isaac Asimov does that so well in all three books. These plot twists, I love them. This is the best thing about this. Okay, so this is the first book, and I think the first book is the best one, honestly, because you get these plot twists, you get the cleverness. The second book was kind of taking a turn. I was like, okay, what you doing? What you doing? So it starts off in a similar way. The religious system has developed into a more like an economic system, a capitalist system, when they have a monopoly on nuclear power. And then somebody appears on the playing board, and that person is called the Mule. And you think, okay, he still has an army, so the system of psychohistory should predict him, and it should be okay. Well, turns out he is a telepathic manipulator, and he as an individual can do so much damage and doesn't behave within the rules of planetary decisions. So, screwed! Yeah! They don't know who the Mule is, and some people are going to investigate it. It's a married couple. Of course, the guy is more important. The female character is just there because she is a citizen of the Foundation, and that's it. And the Mule is hiding, and they find him, and he falls in love with the wife because she is nice to him. She's just nice, like to a normal human person. And he falls in love with her, becomes obsessed with her, and the moment he reveals himself, as the mule, as this powerful mutant, he makes a dick joke. Why? Why? I don't want this. I don't take it back. I don't want this. No. This is how the second book ends, with a dick joke and with him, you are going to be my wife. And I was like, she is already a wife of the dude next to you. What the See my problem? Okay, that's the second book. So everything is crude, the plan cannot work because there's an individual having too much power. He's starting a new global empire in his image, and the Foundation cannot do anything about it. So they think, okay, in the third book they're going to found the second Foundation at other end of the universe. Because they had these hard natural sciences, they believe that the second Foundation have the thing they are missing, and that is psychohistory. Because nobody on the first Foundation can do psychology and psychohistory. They have no idea how the plan works. There is no scientists knowing anything about it. So on the second Foundation, there should be people to know this, because there should be social sciences. Okay, let's find them. So the book is about people trying to find the second Foundation, people being extremely manipulated by the mule, like they have whole other characters they had before, and the Foundation is basically taken over by the mule, and the people find the second Foundation kinda, and the mule finds them as well, and then you know, oh my god, he's going to destroy the second Foundation, everything is lost, and then there is a great plot twist. I loved it, because the second Foundation are full of psychohistorians, and they have predicted everything. And they have calculated the changes after the mule has appeared, and they knew that some kind of mutant could appear in the future. And they are telepathically more advanced than the mule. They turn him into their own soldier, and they start to build the galactic empire anew. There's also the thing that the Foundation, the natural sciences, are kind of having an ego moment, and they think that the second Foundation is stronger than them, and they have to destroy them because they are going to lose all power. So the second Foundation lets them kill some people, but they are still in charge at the end. Overall, I see this book was good, but also I had such trouble reading it. The female representation is catastrophic. If you like sci-fi and you really want to know where a lot of ideas for space operas and for like galactic themes comes from, yeah, go read this, but be aware that this is a child of its time, that this is sexist as hell, and that this is hard to read. It's more a historical book and you need commitment. But I think it was worth it. So, thank you for joining me for this dedicated review of the Foundation Trilogy. I'm not sure how many of those kind of reviews I will do. I just will do them when I feel like there is more to be said than 2 minutes about one book. So, thank you, and please, until the next video, subscribe so you get all the information, and I see you in the next video. Bye!